Hello guys, so welcome this Saturday morning. I'm really excited to see so many people here. I'm sitting in a ODS.ai hoodie here, really patriotic. First of all, let's make sure that the sound is okay, and then we'll go. So if you can just make a small comment that the sound is good. I can try and check myself as well. Yeah, looks fine. So I'm talking to myself. Okay, nice. Well, I see some comments that there are guys joining from Peru. It's 3 a.m. there. From one side, I'm excited that guys put so much effort and are enthusiastic about the start. At the same time, I don't want to be really so much responsible if you lose health during the course. We've got a motto, learn ML the hard way, but myself, I'm sitting here in Netherlands, so they really appreciate work-life balance here. All right, so the plan for today's session is a small introduction into mlcourse.ai and the current session. I've collected some of your questions. We also have some of them here in the live chat. We'll see how it works. So if it's too floody, then probably I'll just answer the question that I see in Open Data Science. So first we will make a small discussion about the current session. So I've prepared some slides. And then we'll be discussing your questions, maybe some cool stories, and so on. To motivate you a bit, I would say that in the end we'll have the same live session -1, so the last one, and some career-specific questions I'll leave till the last session. So in the end, if you survive, then we will have this final session where I'll discuss the full roadmap, how to prepare for the junior data scientist position if you are searching for it. And some career-specific questions like ML engineering versus data science, I'll leave it for this final session. All right, so I've got a bunch of slides here. Really briefly, what it is about, mlcourse.ai, just in 4 lines. I guess it's one of the largest open and free machine learning courses. I don't know whom to compete with. Maybe fast.ai is also very famous, but it's also about deep learning. So mlcourse.ai is not about deep learning. Fascinating slide. I wish your work is never judged by how quickly you can prepare 100 slides to explain some topic in 30 minutes. So in 2 hours I've prepared 9 slides and this one was added just before the streaming. It's nice to say in general what it is about, this mlcourse.ai. So it has been run for some 3 years by ODS.ai team. I personally started started my PhD degree program, and I was teaching assistant in a machine learning course. I was really fascinated with this domain, so it's very, very beautiful, somewhere between mathematics and programming and computer science, so it's really exciting. So at that point, we started gathering some material to make academic courses, then corporate ones. And at some point, in spring 2017, so almost 3 years ago, we decided to actually summarize our content, so to take all that we've got, all the material, and put it in a nice form as articles. At the time it was in Russian. And then we decided, why not creating a small course around it? So 10 articles, 10 assignments, and then a leaderboard. And we gathered probably 500 guys participating in the first session. It went really, really well. So the idea of a common leaderboard is very, very motivating. In Kaggle competitions, we've got leaderboards, and they're really, really motivated. Just think about how much time people waste, spend on Kaggle. Maybe 80% is wasting time. We can talk about Kaggle more in detail in the end. So just think about how much effort people put into some competitions. And this leaderboard actually was a good idea, so it's really motivating. And I would say that it's a really nice start for a junior data science position. So much more details on here in mlcourse.ai podcast, so chai time data science. So the links were there in Slack as well. So if you have one 3 hour while commuting, you can listen to all the stories about mlcourse.ai, how it started, what it is about, some cool stories again, something about alumni, something about the course end, so why it actually finishes, why this is the last session, and also about ODS.ai itself. So I'm not telling much more about ODS.ai right here, so it's really well covered in this series in mlcourse.ai in this podcast. Are these links clickable here? Not sure. Okay, here it is, chai time data science. I really recommend it. So yeah, the format of different interviews with data science folks, it's maybe a bit outdated here, so it's not so exciting to listen to the future of AI, whether machines would substitute people there. So probably we are too used to it. But here, this podcast format is really enjoyable. So this Sanyam Bhutani, so this guy interviews a lot of people, some leaders of the field, some Kaggle grandmasters. So actually this preview, web-based version is not really cool, but he actually started with Abhishek, triple grandmaster. Then people share their stories, how they found startups like these Sharpest Minds, which actually takes alumni or students and then boosts their careers, and so on. So if you have 1 hour free, well, why not? Okay, so now I'm going to discuss the current session. So the design choice for this fall 2019, so for the current session, is this one. So we'll have 4 modules. We'll have different activities to actually balance theory and practice. Yeah, so we said that the course seeks for the perfect balance between theory and practice. So this time we introduce quizzes. So it's something new. Yeah, there is some quote here. I'm not sure about whether it's indeed a quote. So in theory works, but in practice works. So I think it's paraphrased from this guy whom I don't know and just Googled. So this guy said that in theory, there's no difference between theory and practice, but in practice, there is. So I would say it's really hard in a ML course or just basic data science course to find a balance between theory and practice. So sometimes you've got purely academic courses where you discuss VC dimensions, some upper and lower bounds on something like upper bounds on generalization errors. In other courses like Kaggle Learn, I would say you've got only practice, so you lose the general picture probably. So here in this session we introduce quizzes. Actually to make you read all these articles, yeah? So if we visit mlcourse.ai main page, we've got some 10 articles. It takes some time to actually delve into them, and these quizzes will actually motivate you to learn some theoretical basis of the applied techniques. Sometimes I'll be taking some couple of minutes breaks to take a look at your questions. So maybe before we delve into the roadmap, I can take a look whether we've got some nice questions already in the live chat. Okay, so far the question whether we'll have one try for passing a quiz. No, it will be like assignments, so you'll have to fill in the web form and you can edit it actually at any point. Okay, so we'll have 4 modules and let's discuss them. So the first one is data analysis, so you are currently busy with it. Yeah, here the golden rule is that in your task, just always start with exploratory data analysis. You'll get some really nice insights. So sometimes it's even enough. Yeah, so you do exploratory data analysis, you come up with some hypotheses, you discuss it with analysts. Okay, a small spoiler. There is a guy who motivates our next assignment. Let me show the guy. So here it is. Probably you've heard the guy, so we'll have an assignment on cat boost. Okay, so this guy was a bit spoiling our streaming. Okay, so one of the competition will be devoted to cat boost. So more details will follow this Monday. So cat boost is one of the gradient boosting implementations. Pretty cool. Very nice library, and we'll have some practice with this cool library. Now I'm letting the guy go. Okay, so in this module, data analysis, you have one assignment. I guess you're already busy with it. And as for visual data analysis, you can start exploring Dota 2 winner prediction competition. So again, more details will follow just the following Monday. So this is going to be one competition held throughout the whole course. So it's really cool for those who play Dota, but for others it's also nice. So one of the use cases of data analysis, you can actually use it for cyber sports. And in this screenshot, I actually show you all the different kernels in this competition. So I thought about it as for visual data analysis. It would be nice for you just to get used to all this. Get to know the kernels, how you approach the problem, how you take the data set, how you build graphs, how you get intuition about it. So let's start doing that in an actual competition. So there is a nice guys here in ODS.ai community, Artgor, Andrew. So here's a #1 grandmaster here. So if you enter a Kaggle competition, let's say, and if you see a kernel by Andrew, just dive into it. You'll have a lot of nice insights there. And the same in this competition, so he also created an EDA, so exploratory data analysis notebook, and it's a nice way to start with the competition like that. So you first take a look at plots, then you analyze data on your own, and then you come up with some insights, so what actually influences whether one team or another is going to win in a Dota game. And then we'll actually start with machine learning, and you'll try building some simple models, then complexifying them, and so on. So actually, the first assignment that we have, it doesn't involve visual analysis, but as for visual part, which is also very important, just dive into the first competition. All right, so the second module is the module about tree-based methods. So these models, random forest and gradient boosting, which are based on decision trees, I would say are wheel horses of practical ML. So we'll discuss all the differences between these models and linear ones. But in some 40 or I don't know, maybe even 50% of cases, you just need random forest or gradient boosting. So it's really important to understand these models. But we also dive into ML itself, so performing cross-validation, choosing a model, coming up with nice features. This is all really important, and so we'll have one assignment in two parts. So first we'll learn the basics, so these decision trees, and the second part will be beating a baseline in a Kaggle competition. So we'll provide some baseline. We'll give some brief instructions on how to beat these baselines. So actually, cat boost will come in the picture here. Yep. So we'll provide a baseline with cat boost, and then you'll have to perform EDA, exploratory data analysis. You'll have to come up with some nice features, adding them to the model, and then improving your model, and then the final task will be to beat the baseline. So I want to say that it's a very nice activity. So feature engineering is the most creative part probably in the whole process. So you analyze data, you get some insights, you think about the task, you seek for some domain knowledge, and then you come up with features, you add them to your model, and then accuracy or some metric, F1, ROC AUC, then it increases, and it's a really nice feedback loop. Yep. So you've come up to some insight, then you add it to the model. Wow, and that's fascinating. So here, yeah, Kaggle introduces some gamifications. Sometimes it's dangerous, but this part is really cool. That you build something, and then you see immediate change. It really motivates to go on with exploration. And then also we will have this one quiz. All the instructions on necessary course materials will be there. So we'll state what exactly to read. Actually, these articles first on decision trees, then on random forest, then on gradient boosting. And this quiz will be mostly based on these articles. So sometimes indeed, yeah, there will be some links to some certain places, some pieces of these articles. So this is really to motivate you to read them. Don't think that we are only focused on algorithms. This is not true. So these articles also cover the basics of ML, how you approach validation, and so there will be some questions about validation as well. So I don't want you to treat ML just as a bunch of different algorithms. One group of algorithms being suitable in one domain, another in another domain. It's not algorithmic focused, yeah. So it's deals with domain knowledge as well. So that's why it's good to start with some Dota competition where you have domain knowledge, and of course in our course we've got some drawbacks. So it's there's nothing about business here, yeah. So at a real data scientist position, you'll have to talk to business a lot. You'll have to convince people. Yeah, we lack these, I guess, in all of the courses probably. And yeah, we'll discuss it later in the final live session. So what actually constitutes a data scientist position? What do you want to know? What do you need to know apart from this basic ML that we discuss here? And let's move on. So model 3 is about linear models. So it's basically the most widespread family of methods in the whole ML, econometrics, and statistics. Just linear regression, and for classification we've got logistic regression. Very, very simple models. A lot of theory behind them, but in some, I don't know, maybe 30% of your tasks, you just go with a linear model, and it's already good enough. It's really important to start with simple models. So in my own experience, we had when I joined mail.ru group, so Russian IT giant, we had a news recommendation problem. So basically, when you're reading some news on some portal, like I don't know, cybersports.ru probably, you see these small icons, read also. So this is a recommender system. So you have to analyze a lot of content and recommend something for a human who is interested, let's say, in sports, so or in hockey, something related to hockey, and so on. It works to some extent, yeah. Of course, we can't predict human psychology, what we are going to like, what we are not going to like. But here comes statistics, yeah, on a large data set, like we had 80 gigabytes per day. So statistics works on large data sets. We are not going to predict whether a certain human would like a certain article, but in general it works. Okay, and so actually we started with some complex approaches, like something neural net based, some different ML ideas. But then turned out that simple linear models performing pretty well. So it's you can actually lose some time playing around with different complex approaches, like throwing a neural net at every possible situation. So currently I'm doing text analytics, and in text analysis tasks in particular, a linear model works really well in most of the cases, just as a start. So if you're doing some sentiment classification, or like in my case, I'm classifying chats and calls from customers into different categories, something about billing, something about the guy who wants to end the contract, and so on. So if you do, let's say, text classification, don't start with these complex neural nets. Just start with a linear model, and that's why we are going to learn them really well. So we are going deep into both theoretical and practical details. And here we'll have one more Kaggle competition. So there will be three phases. So first we'll provide some clear instruction. It will be sort of a follow me design. So we actually make recommendations how to beat how to build this or that feature. Then you'll have to come up with your own features, and you'll have to beat the provided more challenging baselines. And then it will be actual competing, so competing with other guys. So we will also motivate by providing more credits in this rating to those who enter top 10 in the current competition. But it's not going to spread till the end of the session, so it will be till the end of module 3, I guess. Well, need to check something like end of October. Okay, so I'll take a look whether we've got any questions so far. Yeah, the cat is cute, thanks. Do video lectures differ from articles, or it's just replication? Okay, so in every assignment we'll provide actually instructions which videos and which articles to explore. I would say if you've got some background, if you are familiar, let's say, with pandas, yeah, you don't need these videos. So videos are pretty basic. So sometimes I skip some challenging content that can be found in articles. Articles, okay, of course, are much quicker to look through. So before each assignment, you can start doing assignment right away. And if you see that something is not familiar, go through the article. And then if it's still you see that you don't fully understand what's written there, then probably video lectures will walk you hand by hand. Will create a more general picture. How about bring another language on the course, example Spanish? No, sorry. English, it was already a lot of work to translate all materials from Russian into English. So I'm really grateful to this fascinating community, ODS.ai, where we found some almost 70 guys, I guess, who already participated in creating the course. So maybe half of the work was actually translating into English. When you'll upload the second assignment? So it's the coming Monday. Right after we discuss this course structure, I'll navigate you through the roadmap, calendars, our Slack, and so on. But A2 is coming this Monday, so in 2 days. How can we get accesses to quizzes? So we'll be announcing them in mlcourseai news, and I will walk you by hand. I will show you when we are done with this roadmap, with discussing these modules. Which probability and statistic course do you recommend? If it's related to math, I'm almost always I start with MIT courseware. So maybe 100 of really in-depth courses on math. If they're a bit too challenging, yeah, you can start with another courses, just nothing on top of my mind. But we will share some, actually there are already some resources shared in this question thread. Yeah, we've got a compilation, so we've got some Excel sheets which compile all the different resources about different domains of math, so some basic calculus, probability, statistics, linear algebra, and we cover different courses at different levels. Well, mostly in Russian, but yeah, I'll better answer in the written form. Yeah, for Russian speakers, definitely this is Stepik, course on statistics on Stepik. I guess there are some very popular and cool Coursera courses, like basic on statistics, but not from top of my mind. ML research without a PhD, we'll discuss it later. So let's first finish the course, let's survive here, and then we'll discuss all the career-related questions in the end. Yeah, A1 will be finished on September 15, but A2 will come in September 9. Yes, indeed, we give 2 weeks for A1 for people to orient here, to get to know Slack and all the roadmap. Yeah, I have to admit that some of the things are not 100% intuitive, like navigating Slack and having this. Well, we lack this. I would say personal approach. Yeah, like on Coursera, you log in into your own area and you see everything there. That's why I'm also giving this live session 0. So I'll walk you through these basic things, how you actually navigate through this course. But indeed, we give 2 weeks for the first assignment, and if we can provide assignment 2 earlier, why not? So you'll have more time for assignment 2. Will there be quizzes on assignment 1 for pandas? No, we just thought it's not much different from the actual assignment. So there is no cool theory behind pandas and visual data analysis. You just start and do it. Well, basically, it's not something theoretical. That's why only assignment on pandas. Did I miss something? No. If you follow mlcourseai news channel on Slack, that's already enough. So everything is published there. Okay, let's go on, and then actually I'll be showing you how to use Slack, how to navigate mlcourseai site, and maybe some of the questions won't be relevant anymore, or just will be answered. Okay, so module 4, I would say it's the rest. Yeah, it's not cool to say like that. Sounds like it's not important enough. But no, we had really structured module 1, everything about exploratory data analysis. Then decision tree based methods and linear models form really nice family of methods. And then, yeah, we've got some other topics which don't fit these 3 ones, but still they are really important. Like time series and unsupervised learning, these are huge domains, and you can find them in many actually practical tasks. So we'll also discuss how to scale your simple models, mostly linear models, to several gigabytes of data. So this tool VopalVabbit will actually get our hands dirty with VopalVabbit. And so we'll have 1 quiz covering all these topics, 1 simple assignment on time series, and we'll also have small Kaggle competition, so where you'll have to beat a baseline with some 10 gigabytes of data. And you'll see that it's pretty feasible to do on a single machine without any Hadoop cluster. Yeah, don't call it big data. If you've got 10 gigabytes of data, which is pretty structured, then it's not big data. Yeah, we can refer to IBM's 4V defining big data. So if it's really well structured, don't call it big data just because it's 10 gigabytes of data. don't be frightened with the whole bunch of Kaggle competitions. Like in this one, it's in this assignment, Kaggle competition is just a nice form to organize an assignment, right? So you just have to beat some baseline. So Kaggle is really addictive. You can spend hours and hours. You'll stop counting hours, but here it will be just, yeah, not competing with others, but just passing some baseline. So it's a form of actually controlling whether you managed to fulfill the assignment. It doesn't mean that you'll be spending hundreds of hours in a yet one more Kaggle competition. Okay, so we've published this roadmap. So now it's one more tab on mlcourse.ai. So basically, you can follow the course in mlcourseai news channel. And indeed, yeah, I fully agree that if you have some instructions like A1, then quiz 1, A2, like really granular instructions, it's not good. So it's better to see the whole general picture. So that's why roadmap. Okay, so here it is. We provide Google Calendar with all deadlines. It's not carved in stone yet, so there might be small variations. Maybe some of the deadlines will change. But this is more or less stable, what is published here. Assignments, quizzes, assignments, quizzes. Then we have finally Dota. For some of competitions, we'll ask you actually to provide your reproducible solutions. Not the first one, though, not the one which will be published on Monday. But still, we'll also have some deadlines where you have to upload your reproducible solution, because yeah, there are always different ways to cheat, obviously. So we will have assignments, so they are listed here, quizzes and live sessions. So we'll have 3 quizzes. Decision trees, random forest, and gradient boosting, so it will be announced on Monday, and you'll have some 3 weeks for that. Then linear models, so mostly theory behind linear models, and then time series and unsupervised learning. As for Vopel-Webbit, there will be only practice. So again, thanks for joining on Saturday. I guess it's really challenging. And the same story with quizzes and live sessions. So yeah, we'll have Fridays as deadlines for quizzes. So yeah, you need to be focused. Some time management is needed. And then live sessions will also take place on Saturdays. Well, of course, recordings will be available. But yeah, it requires some effort from you. So we'll have three quizzes, and each of them will be followed by a live session. So you've got a deadline. Of course, you discuss quizzes with our TAs in Slack channels. But then the following day, the following Saturday, we discuss all the questions, and we can actually make some sort of heated discussion. Though, yeah, you can write only comments there in the YouTube channel, but still, we'll see how it goes. Still, I guess we can discuss mostly, all of the questions in quizzes. So we'll meet 6 times, I guess. So today, then 3 quizzes, then live session -1. It will be November 23 in the end of the course. And we'll also have one lecture on Vopel-Webbit, which is missing right now. So we will have Kaggle in-class competition, the Dota 2 winner prediction. So more details this Monday. And basically, just keep in mind that you've got this roadmap. It will be updated, and you can keep track of the current session here. If you go to Slack, mlcourseai news channel, well, starting from this session, you see, starting from September the 2nd, there are only a bunch of announcements. so it's easy to keep track of them. Yeah, typically I'll be announcing assignments here, then we'll have separate threads for your questions. And yeah, I definitely won't be flooding in this channel. So it will be pretty easy to keep track of what's going on with assignments, quizzes, and Kaggle competitions just in this thread. mlcourseai is mostly for everything you need to discuss, but please use threads. So I've seen, yeah, most of the people already start using threads. One sec, let me adapt the thing. Okay, so if you've got a question, yeah, it's post it in mlcourse AI channel, and then we've got this thread. Yep. So basically, I give nice enough instructions on the main site. In each assignment, sorry, in the first assignment, I actually speak about it. Yeah, basically you use threads. Just please reply to a thread. Otherwise, it gets a bit too messy. We also have pinned items. So if there is something really important, then go here. So on the top, just below the name of the channel, you've got pinned items. Yeah, so you can go through them. Yeah, if there is something useful, you can actually pin something yourself if you think it's really useful for others. Don't pin everything, so don't abuse these. Well, that's it. Yeah, you see, this channel was very floody in the beginning, but we'll see it. So typically the conversion from all the applicants to the course into doing the first assignment is 1/3. So some 6K applications so far, and we'll have some 2K fulfilled assignments, assignment ones. Yeah, so churn rate is still much lower than in Coursera courses, but still, yeah, some people will be dropping, and pretty soon it will be all right. mlcourseai channel will be a nice place to keep your discussions. One sec, I'll adapt it again. All right, so you're not going to miss anything if you follow these channels, if you follow the roadmap. And finally, Google Calendar, so you can synchronize it with your own calendar, so you'll have notifications. So pretty convenient. And I guess that will do for navigating, so keeping track of all the news, of all announcements on mlcourse.ai. So now we just quickly go through the main site, and then I'll answer some more questions. So in the main site, we've got all the course material. So main articles, so 10 of them are here in the main site. Yeah, so 10 parts, so maybe a bit more notebooks. We'll give you instructions in every assignment, which of them you actually need. So also we have these lectures. So if you read articles and something is really challenging for you, then you can watch lectures, which is a bit more time consuming. But we also have some really nice lectures on practical applications. So in parts 4 and 5, 5 and 6, we cover some real tasks. So we discuss how random forest and linear regression models, how they are actually applied in real tasks from my own experience. So there is indeed something new in the lectures as compared to articles as well. But still, yeah, it's time consuming, so it's for you to decide. Maybe you need some of the lectures, maybe not. Anyway, in assignments, we actually link to all the necessary articles and lectures. Prerequisites, I guess you already covered these. Considering your questions in mlcourseai channel, I see many people try to struggle with Docker. Yeah, if you don't know nothing about Docker, about software engineering, well, this is not the first thing you need to install. Yeah, so we've got Kaggle kernels, which is a free environment where you can just start with the very same notebooks. So some familiarity with Jupyter is definitely necessary, so it comes as prerequisite, as well as some knowledge of Python. But as long as you can use Jupyter, go for Kaggle kernels, and you can actually do all the assignments just on Kaggle. Or just install pip or Anaconda, and you'll have everything locally. So sometimes you'll need to resolve some inconsistencies with library versions, but basically we keep, at least try to keep up our Docker with Kaggle's Docker, and all the dependencies are there in this Docker file. So I would say the easiest way to start is to go to Kaggle kernels, and then yeah, you can actually write any code there. But please don't leak solutions. Don't publish these kernels if you are doing an assignment. Well, don't spoil. We don't have an formal honor code in the course, but yeah, we just think this is natural. So we see most of the people just stick to some obvious rules, like not sharing solutions before deadlines and so on. All right, then we've got this fresh page roadmap. And assignments, again, you're not going to miss any assignment or quiz if you just follow this page. So all assignments are also here with deadlines, and Google Calendar can also remind you about deadlines. Then we have a bunch of tutorials by other folks during previous sessions of the course. We're not doing tutorials this time, as well as projects, so I guess keeping the right balance between theory and practice is already challenging enough. Yeah, we've introduced quizzes, and it's a lot of effort for you actually to read the articles. Sometimes it's necessary to look, to watch some lectures. So we thought that, yeah, of course we've got this motto, learn ML the hard way. But introducing tutorials and projects this time would be too challenging. So I made simple EDA or just private data analysis of your applications and then final results. I see that actually students tend to finish the course much more successfully, and it's fully understandable. This time we think more about beginners and people who cannot spend 25 hours per week on the course, and doing your individual projects. It's too challenging. So sometimes it really distracts you from the main course material, and with all these assignments and Kaggle competitions, actually there is no time to create a nice project. So we'll share, so in the end, we'll discuss pet projects as a nice way to actually boost your career and to do something meaningful for you. I'll make an example of my own pet project idea and so how you can actually go on with that. But this time we're not doing tutorials and projects. So all other activities are it's already challenging to combine all the other activities right now. As for tutorials, we also have a lot of them already. And I see that, yeah, there are many duplicates. So last time there were a lot of duplicates, and yeah, it also influenced the quality of some tutorials as well. So this time we're not doing this. But as for individual projects, I'll give you really thorough instructions how you approach that, what's the role of your pet project in your career, and I'll provide my own example, but not within this course, at least. I mean, you're not going to do a project within this course. So doing a really good project, it requires a bit more time, and I see it as a next step actually after the course. So it's totally fine that we change our roadmap from session to session. So this time we also introduce changes. Yeah, and sometimes we analyze feedback from you, and we can change the program. The full list of resources. Mostly, yeah. If you are a Russian speaker, yeah, we still have a lot of participants from Russia. Yeah, there are some lectures and materials in Russian as well. But basically, yeah, here you can find everything needed. Okay, so then one of the motivations is to find your name here in the list of top 100 performers. For instance, current TA Vadim Shestopalov recently moved to Israel, so he changed his career. Yeah, he's here on in the top of the leaderboard. Just as an example, we don't issue certificates. It's another long story, but we basically provide knowledge instead of some formal papers like certificates. But still, your achievements can be immortalized. Yeah, so it can be craved in stone like that. And we'll also have a current rating, so it will be really motivating to fulfill assignments, then search your name in this rating. So for now it's empty, but it will be updated just after the first deadline on September 15. Many people miss this page, of course. I also don't like such pages, but if you don't if you didn't get, let's say, an invitation to Slack community, well, we actually provide an instruction what to do, how to enter Slack community, and all the basic questions like how to prepare for the course, how much time it takes, and so on. It's all covered here. All right. I guess I've got some final slide. Yeah, and indeed it's about questions, cool stories, maybe some promises, some false promises. Okay, so now I'm addressing your questions again. Yeah, some discussions are starting here. It's as I expected, it would be pretty hard for me to follow the most important questions. What happens if you miss a deadline? Nothing serious, you can go on with the course. And actually, it's very important, even if you failed with some assignments, to have some courage to go on. Yeah, basically, if you just finish the course doing some 40% of all the activities, you still gained a lot. Yeah. So even if you skip a couple of questions in a quiz, a couple of questions in assignments, or even some assignment, nothing really serious. In terms of rating, yeah, you are not going to get credits for the missed assignment, but still, yeah, just keep going. How to find teammates for Dota competition? Does it make sense to form a team at the early stages? Yeah, this is a good question. I propose that you start by your own. So you delve into the competition, you read kernels, you come up with your own features, and when you feel you are stuck, then probably you need some more insights. You need to share ideas. So I would say at least for first 3 or 4 weeks, you'd better work on your own, and then you can find other guys actually to team up with. A common practice on Kaggle is to show your position on the leaderboard, and then you'll find some folks around you. Yeah, they actually, we don't, in general, Kaggle community doesn't like people joining on at the early stages, like doing nothing, teaming up, and then going on. Yeah, because your position in the leaderboard is some testimony for your work that you've performed. And so if you've already achieved some position on the leaderboard, then it's easier for you to team up to actually make a promise, yes, a justified promise that you are going to go on with the competition, and that you actually have something to share. Okay, yeah, one important point here is that in assignments we don't check code. So there's a question, some auto check after I commit my task. Does it exist? No. So in assignments you only have to fill these web forms. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have resources to check all of your code. This is just not feasible. And remember, the course is open and free, so the file is really kept by enthusiasts. But you'll have to upload your code for, I guess, for two competitions, so for Dota and for another one, which is I'm not announcing right now. No spoilers, but yeah, in a couple of competitions you'll have to share your code, and more instructions will follow. How many attempts do we have to submit the assignments? Well, you've got a deadline, so you have to fill in the web form by that point. But actually, you have as many attempts as you would like to. So you can modify the web form at any point before the deadline. So yeah, of course, you don't have this feedback loop. You don't know whether you've modified it in the right way. But after each assignment, we share solutions for sure, and then we can also discuss in the same threads dedicated to assignments. We can also discuss solutions. To win the Dota, do we need to beat public notebooks? More instructions, really thorough instructions on Monday, but the basic idea is yes, that at least you need to beat these public kernels, public notebooks, because of course, yeah, the strategy of doing nothing is just to grab the best performing public kernel, modifying it something, making an infinitesimal change, and then yeah, of course, a reasonable baseline is just to beat these public kernels. And then some top 10 performers will be awarded, then top 15% and top 20%. Yeah, I've already outlined it in the roadmap. But yeah, for sure, a reasonable baseline is to beat these public notebooks. Okay, the deadline, right, yeah, September 15 is the deadline for the first assignment. Okay, now I'll switch to the questions in that thread on Slack. Yeah, there are quite a few really nice and important questions. Let's go through some of them. Okay, what's the best way to adapt this window? One sec, I'll move my talking head in a different corner. Okay. Yeah, it's not really convenient that you're not able to collapse these threads to make them visible in the full screen. But yeah, I hope you can see it. All right. So anyway, I'm going to read the questions. The first one is really cool about different cross-validation schemes. Actually, I made a pretty large answer. Speaking about course activities, I thought also about a lecture format where I invite a guest, and then we discuss a couple of questions in Ask Me Anything format, just like for 10 minutes, and then we actually go through some of tutorials. If I have time for that, I hope to invite some some maybe grandmasters or some experienced DS folks. I'm honest, I'm fair with you. There are some things that I don't know for sure, obviously. And like providing a general picture which cross-validation schemes you use in different competitions and different tasks. This is something that I cannot provide right now. So I've commented a bit about on this question, but indeed for now, for me it looks like a bunch of hacks. Like for time series, you use one cross-validation. For other tasks, you can use other cross-validation. There are small hacks like 3 ones that I outlined here, like adversarial validation. Yeah, very nice idea where you take a training set, you take a test set, you just, instead of your original labels, you just mark your training instances as ones and your test instances as 0, and then you perform cross-validation and your model needs to distinguish train and test instances. Yep, so pretty smart. I really enjoyed this idea the first time I saw it. And then you can actually select training instances which are most similar to test instances. And that, thus you can leave this held out set which resembles your test set. So there are some hacks like that, but to provide a general overview, maybe I'll be able to invite somebody who is capable of doing that, if there is any person who is actually able to do so. Yeah, that was a Google Doc that I was mentioning in this thread. So we've collected, so one of the guys from ODS.ai collected a lot of resources. So like he was, yeah, sorry, it's mostly in Russian. I don't know the same thing in English. But basically you've got these tabs: linear algebra, probability theory, statistics, math analysis, and something miscellaneous. You can just use Google Translate, but actually, yeah, there are some really cool resources. Like for linear algebra, there are classics like Gilbert, Strang, really fascinating lectures. And this is, yeah, really cool resource. We'll see whether we have something in English. I doubt so. But anyway, just using Google Translate. I mean that this guy from ODS.ai, he did a pretty decent job. So he asked a lot of folks, like myself, I also recommended some of resources. So the guy actually interviewed maybe 10 or 20 others, and we made this, yeah, collaborative work. So we gathered the most representative sources on all these basic math. Tuning LightGBM, yes, we have a separate video on that, so a video lecture specifically on the practical part of gradient boosting. So I guess it's here in lectures, gradient boosting part 2. Yeah, so we discuss key concepts of XGBoost, LightGBM, and CatBoost, and then we also discuss how to tune hyperparameters. To update on lecture schedule, yeah, I think I already covered that with the roadmap and mlcourseai's news channel. That's fine. I wonder, will there be any new Kaggle competitions that we have to solve from scratch? Depends on what you mean by from scratch. Yeah, we've got a Dota competition. Okay, maybe you mean whether we have a new competition without other folks, without guys who are already participating in it. Yes, as for Dota competition, yeah, for sure, I didn't mention yet, but it will follow. Yeah, of course, for the current session, we only keep track of the current course participants, so you'll only have to compete with the guys taking the very same session. In this sense, it will be, yeah, from scratch. Yeah, so you start with the competition, and then we'll finalize it, the results in the end. But we'll also have a couple of new competitions. Okay, literally one new, totally new competition, but it will be, yeah, a form of actually checking whether you fulfill the assignment. It's not literally competing with others. Yeah, the links to quizzes are going to be published in the very same channel on the main site as well. Will the roadmap also cover when we will start with our personal projects and when the peer review will happen? Yes, we're not going to have it in this course, but in the final talk discussing next steps and pet projects as a nice way to manifest your work, we'll discuss that. I also currently have a very nice idea for a pet project, and I know that doing some decent project really takes time. So it starts with also what we mostly lack here in the course, starting with data gathering. One of the most discussed disadvantages of Kaggle as well. So you enter a Kaggle competition and the data is already there, the metric is already there, and you skip this data gathering process. It typically takes 80–90% of all of the time you spend on project, and it's not for 3 months. You probably are not going to come up with some decent project in 3 months with all these activities going on at the same time. The question about forgetting the knowledge and how you actually refresh your knowledge, this we'll discuss in the end, I guess. As well as the next question, how to boost your skills after you've done the course or in parallel with the course. So the skills required for the first data science job, this is specifically the topic of the live session -1 for the final one. So we'll discuss it in depth, as well as some career advices. And I guess one more question about that. Yes. Discussing ML engineering and data science, we'll also leave it till the end. Is machine learning used wider than neural nets or approaches that we learn are only basics? So first of all, neural nets, it's also machine learning. So deep learning is a part of machine learning. But of course, I understand what you mean. Is basic machine learning that we cover here, is it used more often than neural nets? That's true, so for sure. Neural nets are used in basically 3 general cases, where you have a lot of images, a lot of texts, and a lot of audio. Well, some other use cases, of course, but these are the main ones. And you really need a lot of requirements. There are a lot of requirements on infrastructure. So when you are able not to use a neural net in production, definitely go for a linear model, not for a basic model, either linear model, random forest, or gradient boosting. So neural nets are much more demanding in terms of support and production. But even considering some simple task with tabular data, there are a lot of neural net fans on Kaggle, like using neural net in every possible competition for any possible task. But first of all, neural nets require a bit more skills. So it's a more advanced topic than the basic machine learning that we cover here. And then there are a lot of cases where you just don't need neural nets. They are much more demanding. They require your time, and mostly in a business perspective, you need to quickly come up with some basic pipeline, with some base model, and with a linear model, you'll just do it much faster. So from business perspective, I would say in your task, well, depending on the nature of your task, if it's not, if it's something with tabular data like predicting churn, or in my case, I've got simple text to classify, just go to simple models, and then you see whether you need neural nets there. But we're not covering them here in the course. So a natural step after mlcourse.ai will be to take a neural net course, just out of curiosity, because it's a fascinating field, or for career, for your own career boost as well. We'll recommend to take CS231N after this course, and we'll actually support it a bit. So yeah, more details in the end. Any small prizes for the first place? You need even more motivation. Yeah, of course we got this this rating. We also have some teaching assistants in our course. So one of them, Artem Trunov, put really a lot of effort. So to name a few guys, yeah, there are a lot of people who work in the course, but I would specifically mention Aditya, EC Drit, his nickname is. He'll be one of our teaching assistants as well. This guy. He also passed this course, our MVP version, when we only switched from Russian to English format of the course. So he passed this course, and now he's very, very valuable for the whole community, like really helping in this course, and well, doing a lot of cool things. And actually, the best outcome of taking this course is for you, from my perspective, is to become an active member of the community, to pick up some nice projects, some pet projects, and so on. Maybe we'll see each other on Kaggle. Okay, so one more guys whom I would like to mention is Artem Trunov, Data Move, his nickname is. Okay, don't see him right now, but he had this initiative to make small prizes for top 10 or 15, I guess, these stickers. If you go, yeah, these ones. I guess I'm not sure. I need to double check with him, but probably yeah, we'll organize. So he'll organize. He'll make these small gifts, these printed stickers to some top 10 or 15. We'll see. Yeah, so, and the final question here is, what do you suggest as next steps for ML self-study after this course? I mentioned neural nets and CS231N. It depends. Yeah, it depends. We'll discuss again career in the end. So it depends on the path that you choose. Either you are going to be an analyst or data scientist or ML engineer, or you are going to study a bit more with neural nets and find your first position as a ML engineer, let's say, working with neural nets. So it's depends on your background. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to provide a full picture right now. Yeah, cover this course, survive, and then in the end, indeed, we'll have much more to discuss. How the course is different from CMU? I guess it's from Carnegie Mellon. What's the difference? Okay, I'll answer later. I don't think I'm really familiar with the course. As for theoretical part, probably they're more or less substituting each other. Okay, I will take a look to actually provide a better comparison. Okay, so maybe some more questions here on YouTube. No Kaggle medals for Dota. No, it's going to be a Kaggle in-class format. Yeah, so no, there is indeed some nice motivation within mlcourse.ai, but these are playground competitions, so no real medals for them. But if you want to dive into Kaggle after that, for sure, so mlcourseai is a nice base for your further achievements on Kaggle, and yeah, we can also recommend some other Kaggle-specific courses as well. As I said, this preliminary discussion is non-technical, so yeah, sorry, I'll skip these technical questions like statistical criterions. You can ask actually the very same questions on Slack, but not within this format of this talk. What do I think about DL course as a next step? Yeah, also within ODS.ai, we had a mlcourseai. It's yeah, the only problem for most of you is that it's Russian speaking, and I'm not sure whether further sessions are planned. So definitely cool material in Russian is there. So mlcourseai. But then, yeah, I cannot promise that there will be further sessions. As for theoretical part of neural nets, definitely I recommend CS231N. As for practical part, fast.ai. Are we going to do something related to NLP and chatbots in this course? No. We'll have only basics of NLP. So one of the competitions will deal with text classification, but it's a large domain. So I'm currently doing NLP, so I had to delve into the field. Yeah, you definitely need some special courses on NLP as well. And here I can recommend Stanford's CS224N on deep learning in NLP. Do I need C++ in my work, or Python is enough in ML? Of course, again, depends on your position, but for regular data scientist position, Python is good enough. So you typically need C++, where you have to take care of performance. Like in self-driving, they do a lot of C++. If you have a heavy loaded system, like some recommender system, or some auctions, some systems showing actually advertisements, they are really high loaded. There you need probably C++, but I actually never needed it in my own career. How many participants so far? There are some 500 or 600 web forms for A1 already sent, already fulfilled. So yeah, we expect something like more than 2K participants. Actually, I treat those as participants only if they converse into completing A1. Okay, so we have a lot of applications in our web form. I don't treat these guys as course participants. So if you actually submitted A1, then I treat you as a mlcourseai participant. And then some, 1/3 or maybe 1/4 of all participants actually survive till the end. It's pretty good, yeah, as compared to Coursera. So yeah, we expect some 2K participants and some 300. No, from 300 to 500 people actually fulfilling the last assignment. All right, so actually I'll stop here. So indeed, as expected, YouTube live chat is a bit messy. I can answer some of the questions that I pick and treat important in the very same Slack thread, which is currently here in the right side of the screen. Yeah, so considering time, I guess it's we have to finish. Maybe there are some important questions left unanswered. If they're technical, feel free to ask on mlcourse.ai. The strength actually of the course and the whole community is actually all the people around here. Yeah, so I cannot guarantee that I'll be able to answer some of your technical questions, some statistical tests as well. But I really guess that some of the participants are able to answer. And so with technical questions, we can go on with in mlcourseai channel, and I'll pick some of the important unanswered questions from the chat, and we'll answer them on the thread. All right, so thanks for joining today. I need to say that it's a big path ahead of you. Just if you see that A2 is already very challenging, first of all, don't be shy to ask your questions in specified threads for assignments or just in mlcourseai channel. I started myself with Andrew and G's course, and I remember my first questions, they were really stupid. So now they can look stupid for me, but at that point I just didn't hesitate asking them. So I guess my first question when I studied linear regression was whether indeed it's a learning algorithm. So there are some exact computations. So you optimize some clear objective. Why do we call learning? Why is it learning? So yeah, my first question might sound really dumb, but don't be afraid to look stupid in other eyes. No problem. Ask your questions. So A2 will be much more challenging than A1. So we'll be diving into ML. Yeah, and so good luck with the course. I would say the most important part for you is to finish the course. Yeah. So just think about it. It's an important notion. Just even if you hesitate, don't give up. Yeah, they will. Many people will tell you the same in any deal. So if you're found in a startup or if you're looking for the job, just don't give up. So even if you finish the course, if you don't get to the top 100, yeah, no problem. If you put a lot of effort in the course, it will pay back definitely. So yeah, thanks for joining today, and good luck. Good luck with the course.